Sairam, I'm Glenda Childress. I first heard of Sai Baba in 1977. I went to study martial arts with my husband at the time, and the teacher gave a class in his apartment, and he had pictures of Swami all over the place. So I said, "Who's this guy?" And I mean, that sounds terrible to say, but I did say that. And he said, "That's my teacher, a guru." I said, "Oh, you have an Indian guru?" And he says, "It's a long story." So I said, "Well, tell me about it." So he said, "Well, he was working on his PhD. He said, "I was working on my thesis. I was writing a book on St. Teresa of Avila. And all of a sudden, this man materializes himself right in front of me in my apartment. And he says, 'Hi, I am Sai Baba of Shirdi, of Puttaparthi. And I want you to write about someone that is alive. Why are you writing about a saint that has passed away? Write about me.' And he said he was scared. He didn't know who he was. And he said, don't be afraid. I want you to come to India and we'll talk about the book." He said, "Come to India? I've never been to India." He said, "Write a book?" He said, "I'm going to write a book about St. Teresa." He said, "No, I want you to write a book about me." And he said, "Well, I don't even have the money to go to India." He said, "Don't worry. You'll have the money. The money will come. You'll be in India in a month." He said, "I don't think so." Wow. In a month, he was in India. The Swami, whatever Swami did, he was waiting for some money from the IRS for years. And almost 20 years, out of nowhere, a check comes from the IRS. After all those years that he fought to get it, it never came. Suddenly it came within the same week that Swami said the money would come. And he found himself in India a month later. And when he came back from India, he was telling all the stories about what happened. He did write the book, and he even did a movie about him.
Turn it like a little bit towards you. Like
This way.
a little bit like this. Like that.
Thank you.
That's good. That's good.
Thank you. Okay. What else did he say? He did a short movie about Swami as well. And he gave me a book called The Holy Man and the Psychiatrist. And I took the book home and I started reading it. And my husband saw how interested I was. He says, "I want to read that book that you're reading. You seem so into it." And so we both started reading the book, and all kinds of things started to happen to us. For instance, I have a picture of Jesus that looked just like this on my altar, and one of Swami next to that. All of a sudden, all this holy ash starts coming out of Jesus' heart. And the picture was from 19-something that a nun gave me when I was a little girl. So I really treasured that picture. And the picture of Swami that somebody else gave me, that Larry gave me, I put it right next to Jesus' picture. And that started getting holy ash coming out. I said, "Oh, this is weird. I didn't know. I mean, I hadn't read anything about pictures, materializing holy ash." And so we went to the Sai Baba Center, which was the first center in New York on 57th Street, and Faith Hollander was the president at the time. Lovely people. I've met some of the nicest people through the Sai organization. And the day that I went for the first time, when I got ready to leave, my arms were full of this orange powder all over me. And I said, "What is this?" And they said, "Oh, that's kumkum from Swami." And I said, "Well, why?" He says, "He was cleansing you of something." I didn't know what it was. I mean, orange everywhere. I said, "Okay, this is really weird." Things just kept happening. And then my friend's mother came to my house with her daughter, and I was telling them, we were going to go out to dinner, and I was telling them about Swami and the book, showed them the book. So her daughter calls me the next day. She says, "My mom thinks you lost your mind, and that you're following somebody like Jim Jones." I don't know if any of you are familiar with the whole. That was the era when everybody was afraid of going to India, and then she said, "Then something happened. That friend of yours, the guru, shows up in her apartment." The same night he came to her, and he said to her, "What your friend told you is the truth about me." He said, "But don't be afraid. I'm here to protect you and protect your home." He said, "I'm going to start at your front door," because she had just gotten divorced, and she moved into an apartment in a not so nice neighborhood. Swami says, don't worry, nothing's going to happen to you here. And he started taking a whole bunch of ribbons and he's doing a ritual at her door. And then he said, you'll be fine. Don't ever be afraid. I'm always with you. So she called her daughter back. She said, the guy is real. Don't be afraid. He's real. He's not going to. She didn't go crazy. I said, okay. First I was shocked that she would doubt me because I knew her for so long. And I said, why would you think that I. And then I was happy at the same time that Swami showed her who he was. So then she had a little boy, a grandson, about 10 years old, and he was having some trouble with his knees. So at that same time, by that time it was 1980, and my husband said, I think we should go to India to meet Swami, to find out who he is. I said, okay. So then my friend's mother, who has the child, she said, I want you to take my grandson. Please, see if Swami can heal him. So we did take him, but he was a difficult child. But I think that Swami was preparing us to be parents, because I was expecting and I didn't know it. I was 3 months pregnant in India, and I had no idea. I was protected as could be, but when God wants you to have a baby, you will have a baby. Because I was waiting. I said, in a couple of years, well, no. I got to India. I was very sick. I kept passing out and throwing up, and it took us 2 days to get to India. It was a difficult flight, and we took 3 planes, and then we rented a car, and it took like six and a half hours to get to Puttaparthi. And when we're getting there, just as we're pulling in, Swami's pulling out. He was going to 1980. Yeah. So we just got to the ashram, right in front of the ashram at Swami, getting into the car to go to. I said, we just got here. So then we spent the night at Puttaparthi, and the next morning we were on our way to Bangalore. They said he went to Bangalore. So when we got to Bangalore, we first checked in at the Ananda Bhavan. I don't know if you were familiar with that place. But when we got to the Ananda Bhavan, a beautiful place, but I wasn't used to monkeys. And when I opened the window of the hotel, a whole bunch of monkeys came in, and I got scared to death. I told my husband, I can't stay here. We have to go somewhere else. So we went to another hotel, a 5-star hotel. I don't even remember the name of it. But the food was, it was safe. It was a very nice place. And everybody that came to help us was a Sai Baba devotee. I said, how could this be? This nice lady that came she was like a maid. She came, and her name was Shanti. She was the sweetest thing. She'd help me with everything and wouldn't take any money, wouldn't take anything. And all of a sudden, a picture of Swami falls out of her. Yeah. I said, you're a devotee? She says, yes, I am a Sai Baba devotee. And she spoke very little, and she would just move her head, the sweetest, kindest woman. There wasn't enough that she could do for me, and I felt bad because she wouldn't take anything from me. And then I said, I'm feeling very sick. She goes, I'm going to send you a doctor. So the doctor comes up, and he opens his briefcase, and this giant picture of Swami comes out of his. I said, what is this? Everybody that came. The second doctor, another Swami's picture. I said, Swami, what are you doing? I was happy, though, because it was nice. He says, oh, Sai Baba. Yes, that's Sai Baba. He said, he shows me his briefcase. I said, yes. So then we went to the ashram that day. This was the day of the interview. And it was, first I want to say that we got there at 3 o'clock in the morning because we wanted to have darshan at 3 a.m. He was on the veranda, and he turned from Swami to Krishna. He turned blue on the veranda. Swami. He just turned totally blue with that picture of Krishna like this, in blue. And I thought I was seeing things, and my husband said, I saw it too. He said, you didn't it was 3 a.m. I guess it was special darshan that he gave. And it was shocking and it was beautiful because I had never seen, I thought it was my imagination, I really did. But we weren't the only ones who saw it. And that was that morning. And then in the afternoon, he gave darshan, he walked around collecting letters, and then he called my husband in. And everybody said, well, you have to go. The women say, go. I didn't know that if they call the husband, that means the wife goes. I just thought that they took turns, since the men and the women are separated. So Joey, the little boy, he says, come. We go into the back into Swami's, it looked like a little mini paradise. It's so beautiful, the animals running over to him, and the love and the beauty of the place. It did look like paradise. And so I'm waiting on this side, my husband's on the other side. And then Swami comes and he stands right in front of me with a basket, looking like a divine mother, this giant basket full of holy ash packets. And he goes, open your hand. And he gave me a whole bunch of holy ash, little packets. And then he says, now come. And we followed him into the room where he gives the interview. And then he says, okay, where's the good grass? The good grass. Before we left to India, he told my friend Mary, who didn't believe who he was, she said, tell them to bring good grass. I'm going to do something special for them. And to bring a, what do they call that? Ivory trunk, a little ivory trunk. I said, okay, we looked everywhere for the ivory trunk, and we didn't know what good grass was, but we went to every store looking for the good grass. And so the first thing he said, okay, give me the good grass. I said, I'm sorry, but I don't know what good grass is. We couldn't find it, and we could not find that the elephant, because they don't sell them anymore, because I think they're extinct. You know, the elephant trunk, what do they call that? Oh, the tusk. Yes, the tusk. And so we couldn't get either one. And my husband was having some trouble with his stomach. So Swami said, well, Swami will fix it. So he took my husband into the next room, picked up his shirt, put a blue square on his chest, and held his stomach like this. And then all this holy ash came out. And he took it off, and he told him, you're going to be fine from now on. And he told him, I just want you to get out of politics. He was in politics at the time. He said, something's going to happen, and politics is ugly business. You don't belong there. Get out now. So when he came back, he got out of politics because something was going to happen to the congressman. And so he came back, and he scolded him too. He scolded me first. He said, don't fight with husband. I said, and I looked at him, I said, don't fight with, what about husband? Tell husband not to fight. So I said, okay. So then he said, I said, Swami, when can we, I said, can I please hold your feet? Can I touch your feet? So he said yes, and he let me touch his feet. And he started to walk away, and I said, I'm holding on to his feet as he's walking. He says, Swami has to go now. I didn't want to let go of him because it's so beautiful, So then before that, I said, Swami, I'm feeling very sick. I don't know what's the matter with me. And he puts his big smile, and he goes, you're going to be fine. I said, what's wrong with me? Because I didn't know I was expecting. And he said, he turns his little head like this, you're going to be fine. Again, I said, but please tell me what's wrong with me, because I've been very sick here. I have no idea what's going on with me. I keep passing out in the street. I don't know. And again, he smiled. He said, Swami will fix it. I said, okay, Swami. It's so sweet. So then when we finished the interview, that was the end of the interview. It happened like an hour, but it all happened so fast that it was kind of short. When you think about it, it was really an hour that had gone by. So then he came out again to give darshan, and he's this high up from the ground. He was elevated. He's walking on air. It was shocking to see that. I said, look, Swami's floating. It was just so many beautiful blessings. So then when I got home, I gave a big picture of Swami to my friend Mary. Oh, before that, her little grandson that I took him, we all slept in the same hotel room, and he has a lot of problem with his knee. He was having pain. So when we got up in the morning, he said, Swami came last night, and Swami fixed my leg. He said, Swami came, he said, don't worry. He put his hands on his knee and healed him. He never had any more problems with his knee after that. So then we took him back home, and he was a changed boy, because before that it was very hard to work with him. He was a very rough boy, and it was like night and day. He's totally changed to this quiet, mellow child. Even his grandmother was shocked. She said, he's a different person now. I said, that's Swami's work. Swami was so sweet and kind to the child and to all of us. And the next day, let me see what happened the next day. There's so many stories I have to say. Another story I want to say about my friend Mary. Her brother passed away right around Halloween, and we were at her house saying a prayer for him, when all of a sudden she hears a voice saying, "Oh, who died?" It was her brother. She said, "You died." He said, "I can't be dead." He said, "You're dead." So then she called Swami, and Swami says, "I'll take him." Swami goes. Spiritually, Swami came and took her brother to where she said he just doesn't want to leave yet because he wants to be here with all of you. And it was so sweet. And then another time, that the same woman, Mary, when she said to Swami, "But who are you? Really, who are you?" So Swami says, "I will show you who I am. You may not believe me, but I'm going to show you." So Swami went from being Swami to being Jesus. He said, "This is who I am." He said, "This person, this Jesus, I am Jesus." He says, "I am in an incarnation. I am Swami and Jesus are one." And so she called me right away. She said, "He is Jesus." Because then when her husband died, he also didn't want to leave, but he was not, I don't want to talk ill of the dead, but he was not the kind of person that wanted good for her. And so when he died, and he was giving her a hard time even after death, Swami came. And when her husband saw Swami, he said, Jesus Christ, it's Jesus Christ." He was so afraid. And Mary said, Swami turned for Jesus Christ for him and took him where he belongs. So he did that so many times to so many people and so many devotees that I met that were shocked to see that Swami and Jesus are one. And I know maybe some of you might not even believe it, but I believe it. From what I believe it. With Swami, anything was possible. When my son was little, he was standing in front of the mirror. We were getting ready to go out, and he was about 4 years old. And I had one of those door mirrors, and the whole mirror came crashing down out of nowhere on his head. I screamed. Because there wasn't I said, "Swami!" Immediately I screamed, calling Swami. Not a scratch on him, nothing. And he just mellowed like nothing, my son Jan, like nothing. And I said, "Thank you, Swami, for protecting him." He was always protecting, always helping, no matter what. And when all the stuff that happened in politics, he made sure that my husband was left out of it. That nobody did anything to him. Because it is an ugly business. What else happened? So many stories.
Talking about bringing pictures of Mary.
Oh yeah, I bought Mary a picture of Swami about this big. She said in 2 days, holy ash was all over the picture. She said, "You wouldn't believe that picture that you gave me." And then the picture that I had with Swami, with the holy ash and the Jesus picture, my friend came over, and because I told everybody I was so excited, he came over and he touched the picture of Jesus' heart with the holy ash on my altar. And so the holy ash stopped coming. And so I called her. I said, "I don't know," because she was very psychic. She said, "Swami said that was for your eyes only. That's why it stopped. So next time he gives you a blessing, keep it to yourself." Even though the person that touched it didn't have any bad intentions, but just the thought that was my altar and he put his hand on it. But then after that, Swami gave me another picture with holy ash, so it was okay. So little things like that, and the whole trip to India and that just to see him transform into Krishna was, so Swami is of all those different forms. And what else happened? So many things. Did I forget anything, honey? Oh, the rainbow. When Swami was floating in the air, there's this rainbow all around his head, from his whole body, a rainbow appearing around him. A beautiful rainbow as he's floating. It was...
Was that during darshan?
During darshan. It was shocking. It was beautiful.
So a lot of people saw it.
Yes, yes. Everybody that was there saw it. We couldn't believe it. He says, well, Swami is not only floating, but there's a rainbow all around him. And he's so sweet. I said, Swami, when will I see you again? He said, you will see me again. Not right away, but you will see me again.
Did you go back?
No. My son wants to go. I want to go. I want to take my grandson. And my son joined Bal Vikas when he was 6. And he played Lord Krishna in some of the Bal Vikas. And he was the only boy among so many girls. He wasn't too happy about that at the time. I said, when you're older, you'll be very happy to have all the girls around you. So many wonderful things that happened with Mary. When her daughter-in-law got pregnant, and she was in the hospital waiting to give birth, the pain was so intense that Mary gave her some holy ash. She put holy ash all over her belly, and it turned orange, like kumkum. And she said all the pain disappeared, and the baby came out fine. Little things that are shocking. At the same time, it's almost unbelievable that anyone would, if you tell the story, I think if it's not a devotee, they would think you're making them. But it was just beautiful things that happened. All I can say is I also met some lovely people that have since passed away that were at the Sai Baba Center. Some past presidents that have passed away, and some of the devotees that died at the ashram. And Swami took, good care of all of them. And
Are you still active in New York?
yeah, I come and go because I don't walk around too much now, but I am. I do. I know them all. They're wonderful people. And
Did you know Al Honey?
oh yes, oh Hal was wonderful. I was so sad that he passed away. My son, I thought Hal was a little upset with us because when he always had the New Year's Eve parties, Swami, his apartment was right on Central Park South, facing Central Park. So at midnight they would have the midnight run at Central Park and the fireworks. So then my son was 4 years old, and I said, how can we bring the baby? And he said, sure, put him on my bed if he falls asleep. He fell asleep on his bed, and then he peed all over his bed. I was so embarrassed, and Sal, he was so loving. He said, it's okay, it's all right. He was just the kindest man. Every New Year's he had that Sai bhajan. Yeah, and to see that, to see the fireworks at Central Park, and it was just, he's missed. He was just a very good soul.
Did you know Hilda?
Yes. I met Hilda here in California. And then she was at the planetarium. There used to be a planetarium center. I don't know if it's still there. There's like a Monday night center, which was, I think, the planetarium center. Then there was the Deepa. I don't know if you know Deepa. She was the head of the Bal Vikas teacher, and she had an apartment on 86th Street. She and her husband would have bhajans there. And she was the Bal Vikas teacher. And then there was
86 in Upper East Side?
Upper East Side, yes.
That's where my husband grew up, 82nd and Upper.
She was on 86th Street and 2nd. And there was, Rose. Rose had a, I don't know if she still has it on Thursday nights. No, not Thursday, Wednesdays. She had a bhajan in her apartment.
Did you ever meet Jenny Navarro?
No, the name is not familiar.
From here, but she used to go to New York occasionally.
Some of the loveliest people. I don't know what became of Faith's husband, Hollander, but they were very nice people as well. Faith is still very much involved with the center too. Very nice. She was the first president of the Sai Baba Center in Manhattan. Very nice. It's been a lot of press.
Swami got in your dreams now.
Yes, Swami's he's just wonderful. And regarding my leg, I'm a 9/11 survivor, and Swami has helped a lot with all the issues that I've been going through because of that. And out of nowhere, I get holy ash and gifts from people. It's wonderful because I said, oh, Swami, what am I going to do without your holy ash? And he gave me some. And my friend went to India and came back with a huge bag of holy ash. I said, this is just such a blessing because I definitely need it. And I said, Swami? He said, Swami, we'll fix it. So in time, this will be fixed. So, he's so sweet when he says, Swami, we'll fix it. He's just wonderful. And he's wonderful to my little grandboy. There he goes. They wanted my son to play the part of Swami in a movie, but the woman passed away. I don't know if you're familiar with Rita. Rita was a filmmaker as well, and she passed away last summer, and she was working on a movie about Swami, and my son was going to play the part of Swami as a boy. And so I don't know what happened to the rest of the story, the film. But
What's the name of the book of your teacher?
I don't know, but I can find out for you. He's still alive. I can find out.
He wrote a book about.
He wrote a book and made a movie about it, and I have it in New York. I have it at home. I don't remember the name, I'm sorry. That was a long time ago.
Did you finish the book for Teresa de Avila? For the saint?
Oh, I don't know if he worked, because once Swami told him to stop writing. Not that she wasn't important, but yeah, he's very spiritual as well. Yeah. I met a lot of wonderful people through the Sai Center, and it's a big family. It's a big Sai family, and they also do the bowel remission, where they make the burrito sandwiches and things. Yeah, a lot of nice people. Where's
the center now?
The center's on 27th Street and 7th Avenue South, Fashion Avenue. And we've had many centers. We started on 57th Street, and it's moved on from 34th Street. The man that let us use his center, the first center, he gave a talk once at the Sai Center. And he said that he was a very wealthy man. His business was Oriental rugs. I forgot his name. But he said that when he first came to Swami, he was quite the racist. He said, I was a wealthy, arrogant racist, and you couldn't tell me anything. But Swami humbled me and showed me who he was. And I'm a different person now. I'm a total, he says, I have transformed that no one would recognize me. And he said, that's why I want to give back and let you use my center. His office, we used to sit on the rugs, those Oriental rugs. That's where we sat on his piles and piles of Oriental rugs, and he would let us have bhajans there and sit there in his office after hours on Thursday nights. That was the first Sai Center.
Wow.
Yeah, nice people. Mr. Patterson, I think was his name, or Peterson. To hear him say something like that was shocking. He's this very straight-laced businessman talking about Swami and what happened with him and Swami. I've read a lot of different books about Swami. One of them was about a director or producer here in California. I wrote a book about him. I forgot his name. But he's also talking about the film industry. And,
Arnold Schulman? Arnold Schulman?
Schumann, yes.
Arnold
Schumann.
Schulman.
Yeah.
Yes, I read a book that he wrote about Swami. Mm-hmm.
I have a question. What did you learn from Swami? What would you say the key points?
I think one of the most important things to learn is patience, because especially, I was working and all of a sudden I'm expecting. And to have a child, I think just being a mother alone is a lesson in patience, because you really have to change totally. You transform with the child. And I was an at-home mom, and that was difficult enough. And then my husband, who worked in the neighborhood, would come home for lunch. I'd make breakfast for him, I'd make lunch for him, or dinner. And it was like I was constantly going. I said, oh my goodness, mothers don't get a break. I said, come on, Swami, I'm exhausted most of the time. And he says, don't worry, Swami will fix it. He always told me that, Swami will fix it. I said, Swami, I'm so tired. I said, I don't think I was ready for this motherhood, because I wasn't trying to get pregnant. And he said, oh, it's okay. Calm down. So he taught me patience, if anything else, especially with my son, who had a lot of energy at the time. And I was so happy when he joined Bal Vikas, because it also transformed him. At first he didn't want to go. He said, Mom, no, those are all girls. I'll be the only boy. And I said, you're going to love it, you know. And as much as he complained, he loved it. Especially when he played Krishna. I think it was Krishna. Did you play Krishna? Yeah. They dressed him up in the whole garb and stuff. Yeah. So.
How about your husband's book about Swami?
No, that wasn't my husband. That was my teacher. Yes. I don't remember. He wrote it. It was part of his PhD. He wrote the book and made the movie. It was part of his thesis. And I don't remember the name of it, but I will find out and I'll send it to you guys. And the movie too. And he did the movie on the ocean. Beautiful. And he's always been a devotee for years. You know.
Does anyone have any questions?
So do you plan to go back?
Yes, I want to go back, especially since a friend of ours told us that the little boy that's now about 8 or 9 years old, the reincarnation Prima Sai, yeah, he sent us pictures of Prima Sai, and I said, well, I want to go see this because I want to take my son and my grandson to see.
How do you know he's the real Prima Sai?
I don't know, excuse me, I just feel it.
Okay.
I took one look at his picture, and I said, this is it. This is the boy. And
So he's in my sword.
Where is he? Do you know what area?
I don't know, Jen, what area did what's her name say that? He sent us the picture, and I felt it. And then I sent it to my friend who was alive. Then she died last summer. She was very psychic, and she took one look and she said, "That's Swami again." I said, "Yes, that is Swami." I don't know where he was born. I don't know all the details. All I know is that beautiful picture of this little boy.
Yeah, so we all know.
Do you have that picture with you?
Yes, I think it's in my phone.
You can show us
I don't
after
have
the
it.
meeting.
Jan, do you have it? I think it's in my phone. If I don't have it in this one. My son has it. And the guy that sent it to us is from Australia, and he sent it to us. And he's he's a past president of Sai Baba Center in Australia.
Why don't you show it?
Show her if that's the one. Is that the one? That's the one.
That's him. So cute. Mhm.
Hello, Prima Sai.
Except in my picture, he's got a big smile, and he's.
Yeah.
So the guy that sent it to me is from Australia. He was a president of the Australian Center, and he was so excited, and he showed us he was doing something with my son in film, and he sent us that picture. I said, what a cute little boy, sweet. I'd like to go see Swami again, because he told me, he said, you will see me again. I said, when, Swami? When am I going to see you again?
Have you gone to the Prasanti Nilayam temple? To the new temple at Riverside?
No. Riverside and what? Is the Riverside the street or Riverside?
Riverside in town, the city.
No. We went to a Hindu temple in Burbank. In Malibu when we were in Burbank.
This is the Sai Baba.
Is that Sai Baba as well?
No. Riverside is Sai Baba.
Your side, we have temple.
Riverside is a state or in the city of
About
Riverside?
an hour from here.
Oh, I would like to go to that.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, yeah, sir.
It's a temple
Yes.
It's show every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1.
in Riverside?
Yes.
And
Also, Guru Purnima is happening on the first.
it's happening there again? I want to go to that, Jan. Guru
And they
Purnima.
have Shirdi Sai statue, Satya Sai Baba's child picture. It's beautiful.
If you decide you want to go,
Yes, I want to go.
if we're going to go, I'll let you know.
Thank you. I'd love to go. I'd love to go. I saw so many children that grew up with Sai Baba devotees. They're all grown men and women now. They stayed with those beautiful, And to see the children at the in Sai Baba at the pool party, the boys all dressed in their little white shirts and the girl, such little angels. So, and the way they run to Swami, they would run to him. Just
Those are his treasures.
mhm. Imagine that those children are now. As a matter of fact, when I went to India, when we stayed in Bangalore, Bangalore was just, it was all dirt road. It was now that's the Silicon Valley of, it's shocking. Look what happened. And Swami said everything's going to change so fast. And that's why he was leaving in 86, because he was supposed to die at 96.
Right.
He said, Swami has to go now. I said, don't go. We're not ready to let you go. He said, Swami has to go. Big changes are coming. Swami has to go early. I said, okay. All right.
Have you ever had dreams of the changes coming?
No, my son has much more dreams than I have. He had in the past of things to come.
We want to know.
Jan, you want to tell them about some of your dreams? Another time? Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.